Welcome to my next playthrough series, A Touch of Evil. Yep, we're up against the Scarecrow this time. He gets stronger as the game goes on, which is just terrible, of course. We're going to be playing a two-player, again, so I can try and keep control of things. There's a million cards. I've got the 3 boards. I've Echo Lake and the Coast. So Something Wicked expansion, the Coast expansion, all the expansions. Everything's set up, and basically there are 6 elders for Shadowbrook. They each start with 1 secret. There are 3 elders for the board you can't see way over there of the Coast. They all start with 1 secret. And basically in the corner of each of these maps is a location you interact with. So there's card decks for that, and there's certain text in certain locations. You roll dice, you do things. It's a roll and move, you roll. We're basically trying to figure out what the Scarecrow is up to and hopefully defeat him at the end. We'll be playing a co-op game, so we have the advanced co-op mystery phase, and yes, we have the Scarecrow minion chart, so he's going to be chucking out murders of crows and locust swarms, plus a bunch of other horrible things, trying to take us out. Eventually, we have to figure out where the lair of the Scarecrow is, and take him out. So let's take a look at our 2 characters we'll be starting with. I'll just show you the miniatures here. So we have Jack Fellows, he's a privateer, and we also have Abigail, student of the occult. So, and again, really nice miniatures, like them. And they start in the town hall of Shadowbrook. Let's take a closer look at them and their special abilities. Alright, so they both start off with 2 investigation. That's the currency of the game. You use it to uncover secrets of town elders. You use it to purchase items. There's an item deck for the town. There's an item deck for the town square and the coast. There's an item deck for the monastery, which is on the Echo Lake board. So you can use them to purchase those kinds of things. We'll see how it works as the game plays along. Alright, first off we have Abigail, student of the occult. She's got a Spirit of 2, Cunning 3, Combat 2. And those will make sense when we play the game. She has occult knowledge, may use Cunning instead of Combat in a fight, which is good because her Cunning's 3 or Combat's 2. So she can roll 3 dice in a fight instead of 2. And basically in fights, hits are on 5s and 6s. She's also a student. She gets +1 Cunning for every book she has. Now she's got to go find items, of course. If she can find some books, she gets a +1 Cunning for every book she has with her, and she gains an extra health for every occult item she has. So that's Abigail. Now we have Jack Fellows, the privateer. He's got 3, 3, and 3. He's got a little bit stronger in all aspects there. Oh, and also 3 wounds. If you take your 4th wound, I believe you're toast, or is it you take your 3rd? I forget now. In Terminator, it's if you fill up all your boxes, you're out. Do you have to take 1 more? I think in Touch of Evil, if you take 3, you're knocked out. Now, I'm going to double check that before we play. It's been a long, long time. My goodness, it's been almost a decade, I think 8 years or something, since we played this on the channel. Honor of 2, Honor of 4 will make sense when we need to use Honor for something. And he's a duelist. Once per fight round, every fight round, this is really good, you may re-roll one of your missed, all of your missed to hit rolls. And the way I roll dice, he's going to need it. And also starting with 2 of the tokens here for investigation. Alright, let's take a look at the Scarecrow. Alright, take a look at the Scarecrow. So here we have the cooperative game board. This is going to be ticking down. Bad things happen when you cross these lines. Bad things for our player characters. Good things for the Scarecrow. So the Scarecrow has a 5 attack dice. Currently, of course, you can see that can increase as this track gets to the back. And if the token ever falls off this track, you immediately lose. He's gotten too powerful. He feeds on fear. As the dread of the town grows, so does the power of the Scarecrow. So his current shadow track, right now it's at 20. So if it's at 20, 19, 18, 17, he gets no bonuses. However, if it gets into 16, 15, 14, into this section, he gets +1 combat, +1 wound. Over here, +2 combat, +2 wounds. If it's in this section, he gets +3 combat, 3 wounds, +4 combat, 4 wounds, and you can see he also gets extra health here as he goes along. He is nasty. And his advanced abilities, well hidden. Heroes must pay twice the cost listed on the lair card to start a showdown with the Scarecrow. Well, that kind of sucks. But anyway, we'll get to that if we get to that. And he's flammable. A hero may discard a keyword fire item while fighting the Scarecrow to gain +5 fight dice for 1 attack. So we want torches, obviously, to burn him if we can. And he's a master of terror. At any time the mystery card Murder is played, roll a d6 on a 4+, put a murder of crows at a random location as the investigation. Same as the investigation. Wow, there we go. All right, let's take a look at the hero turn, the game round, and I think we're just going to have a quick turn for this episode. Alright, so this basically tells you how things work. So during your hero's turn, they must complete the 3 steps in order. You cannot do things out of order. Actions may be taken in any order you wish. So you move, so you roll the die, you move 1 to 6. If you roll a 1, you get an event card. Event cards are generally good for you. Fight enemies in your space. If there are any enemies there, you fight them. The murder of crows is a special thing. You can drive them away. You don't actually fight them. I think you have to roll a 5 or 6 with your cunning to actually get rid of them. Take actions. So you encounter the space. So some spaces have actions in them. Like the Old Woods has a deck. Anything that has a deck, so this has like a deck of cards, the Old Wood. If you're there, it's mandatory you must encounter it. So you're going to pull a card from the deck. Try to collect investigation from the board. Limit once. So in the advanced rules, or in the basic rules, if you land on a space with investigation tokens, you just collect all of them. In the sort of more advanced rules, you have to roll your cunning, the number of dice you have as your cunning, and you get 1 investigation per success. And successes are 5 or 6s. So it's not quite as easy to just grab investigation tokens off the board. You can look at the Town Elder's secrets costing you 2 investigation. You can buy a lair card. How much it costs is on the track. So to start off with, it costs 12, then it goes 8, 3, 1, and 1. And start a showdown. If you've landed, listed on your lair card instead of encountering the space. So once we figure out where the Scarecrow is, we can go to that location and start a showdown. Yeah. All right, I think we'll explain things as we go along, so let's get rolling some dice and have a first turn. And I should also mention that this was voted on and tied with Cthulhu Death May Die. It's actually good to see an old game and a newer game tied for most votes as to what we want to do for our October Halloween playthroughs. This got just as many votes as Cthulhu Death May Die, which I will be doing right after this, but let's begin. So we need to designate a first player, and of course I don't have a token. Well, we're gonna say Abigail's our first player, and so what we do is we just roll a d6, and that's how far she can move. And you can do something called lingering, which means you don't have to move, but then you have to roll the die, and you might get a mystery card, which is bad. So she can move a total of 3 spaces. So she could get to the covered bridge, 1, 2, 3. Or she could get somewhere else. Let's figure out, maybe she wants to go somewhere in the town with a roll of a 3. Alright, so Abigail can move up to 3 spaces. She doesn't have to use all 3 movements. She's just going to move here to the magistrate's office. And it says draw an event card. So we'll be doing that. But the main reason she's there is she wants to pay 2 investigation to make an honor 5 test. She has 2 honor, so she's going to be rolling 2 dice. If she gets a 5 or higher, she's successful and she'll gain a permanent +1 cunning. Now remember, she uses a cunning for fight, so that would put her to 4. But first, we have to draw an event card. So there's a giant stack of these. And what do we have? Oh my goodness, that's pretty detailed. Gossip and rumors. Play at any time, except during a fight, to immediately peek at the secrets of one town elder without revealing them. You may choose one of those secrets to discard and draw a new one without looking to replace it. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Now, how I'm going to be playing the co-op game I am going to be pooling these cards for both players. And when we look at a Town Elder, I'm just going to leave that face up because I'm playing it solo co-op. Normally in a co-op game, the active player would be looking at it, but they can't tell the other player what's going on. But because we're doing it kind of solo co-op, that's really going to be kind of silly. So we will keep this as a collective card for either player to play, and I believe you're supposed to give it to just one player, but I'm going to have a collective pool for these. So that's the event, and now she's going to pay her only 2 investigation tokens that she has, so we'll say goodbye to those. Now she gets to roll 2 dice, and she's going to see if she can get a 5 or 6. If she gets a 5 or 6, she's going to get a permanent +1 cunning. And she does not, so she wasted her investigation. Ugh. Alright, that's the end of her turn. Over now we go to Jack Bellows, who's currently sitting in the town center. Well, let's just roll his dice. Let's see how far he can move. He can move 5. Oh, he's going to be motoring. Let's find out where he's going. Alright, so for a movement of 5, he's going to go over to the Abandoned Keep. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the Abandoned Keep, yes, that was his movement. He must fight enemies in her space while there's no enemies there. Take actions, encounter the space. Mandatory. Alright, he has to take actions. We're at the Abandoned Keep. There's a huge Abandoned Keep deck. Let me just randomly draw one of those. Let's figure out what happens at the Abandoned Keep. Midnight Meeting. Making contact with some of the local ruffians, you set up a late night meeting in the hopes of gaining some valuable information. Roll a d6, add your honor. If total is 6 or less, take a layer card for free. Otherwise, immediately roll once on the villain's minion chart. Oh dear. Alright, let's get the dice tray out and do that. Oh dear. Reading a little more closely on this. I thought this was good. His honor is 4. So he has to roll a die and add 4. Oh man. So we're looking for a 1 or 2, because if he can roll a 1 or 2, then he will get some info on the lair of the Scarecrow. Otherwise, yeah, bad things will happen. Oh my god, 9. A 9, and the dice rolls are just starting. And it's only the first episode. Alright, so we got messed over. Add your honor, so that's 9. If it's 6 or less, take a lair card for free. Otherwise, immediately roll once on the villain's minion chart. Oh, absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. All right, the minion chart. we're already getting hosed. So we're going to be rolling here on the advanced minion chart. So we're going to be rolling a d6 again, and we're going to see what we get. We get a 5. All right, that die likes 5s. A 4 or 5, murder of crows. Oh my good word! There's a wall of text. Whenever murder of crows is rolled, put a crow's marker in the space. As well as additional crow's marker in every adjacent space. Limit 1 crow's marker per space. Every crow's marker. Okay, I'll let you read that. I got to read through it, and we'll come back and do what this says, which is a lot of stuff. Alright, we're off to a great start. So we got a whole bunch of murders of crows showing up. So yes, when they show up in your space, you have to roll a die in every adjacent space, which is luckily just 1. I do not believe adjacent space. There's no secret passage from the Abandoned Keep. All right, so we have to roll another die. If we roll a 1, we have to lose a wound, an item, an investigation. Yeah, it's all bad. We rolled a 3, so that's not happening. Now, if you start your turn in a space with your crow, you got to do that. So the next time he goes, he's going to have to roll again. Now, you can also, as an action, go ahead and try and hit these guys and drive them off with cunning or spirit. So yeah, whenever you enter, hero enters or starts a movement in the space of the crow's marker, you got to roll a d6. So wow, these things are going to start getting messy. All right, that was the end of the hero's turns. So of course, right now we're into the mystery phase. But before we get to the mystery phase, yeah, we have to roll on the lovely and ever exciting cooperative mystery phase chart. So let's do this first. And we'll use the Echo Lake board for this roll. 2 dice. We get a 7. Is a 7 lucky? A lucky 7 or a 7? A surge of evil. Roll once on the villain's minion chart and work the result. If it's a minion or the villain attacks, draw a random location for placement. Yeah, okay then. So we got to roll on this chart again. So yes, lots of dice rolling, lots of bad things happening. We get a 3, which is, oh wow, we get a locust swarm. So we get a locust swarm, and heroes must use their cunning instead of combat during this fight. Alright, so we're going to be getting a locust swarm. And I believe, where did we say the locust swarm? If it's a minion, or if the villain attacks, draw a random location for placement. Alright, so how we draw a random location is you just draw any old layer card. The South Dock is going to get a swarm of locusts. Oh man, I don't even have a place to put a discard pile. Alright, let's put a swarm of locusts on the South Docks. Alright, so the South Docks is right here, so it now has a swarm of locusts, which is fantastic. And now ending off the mystery phase, once they've taken all their turns, you have to draw a mystery card, and then the first marker passes to the next player. So Abigail went first. We have to draw a mystery card. Now we've got a deck here that's about 6 inches tall, and we end up getting growing power. And of course it's the Scarecrow. This card plays on the villain. +1 combat remains in play. So the Scarecrow getting stronger. Just what we need. Alright, I'm going to put that underneath him. So now he has +1 combat. I might use dice, possibly. Oh man, this is crazy. Alright, well that's basically the end of turn 1. When we come back next time, I'm not sure how quickly I'm going to be getting these out. As per the last playthrough, it might take me a while. We'll be having Jack Fellows taking the first turn. So we're going to back camera up. We're going to wrap up our episode for today. Alright, well that's going to wrap up our episode of The Touch of Evil for today. We're up against the Scarecrow. We've got Jack Fellows, a privateer, Abigail, our student of the occult, taking on the Scarecrow, where there's murders of crows popping up. We got locust swarms. We've got the Scarecrow already at +1 combat. Now he's rolling 6 dice. Yeah, it's just all great. It's all going well for us. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. This is A Touch of Evil from Flying Frog Productions. Pretty fun Halloween-y game. Got all the expansions. Of course, I'm going to try my best not to mess things up. But as you know, that's always not always the case. So we'll do our best to correct everything in the comments and or in future episodes if I mess things up. So thanks so much. Hope to see you next time for the continuation of A Touch of Evil.